The village of Piltdown is an unassuming place nestled in the East Sussex countryside in the south of England. However, the name is forever linked with an infamous archaeological find. This was unearthed from a gravel pit in 1912 by archaeologist Charles Dawson, pictured here on the right. A selection of cranial fragments along with a jawbone were unearthed, and Dawson, along with a team of specialists, examined the find and ultimately came to the conclusion that this was a hitherto unknown form of human being. The team were extremely excited and christened their find Eoanthropus dawsoni, or Dawson's Dawn Man. It was announced that he was the first true Englishman, so called, and he very quickly took his place in the history of human evolution alongside other creatures like Neanderthals. Unfortunately, the find was a hoax, and of course the perpetrator knew this. In what seems now to be an effort to highlight the joke, he or she decided to hide a cricket bat very close to the site. Because, after all, what Englishman would be complete without his cricket bat? However, for a while, the find was deemed to be proof positive that this man had been the first Englishman, despite the fact that the history of cricket bats shows a very distinctive change in shape through time. As early as 1913, some specialists had already pointed out that there was an indiscrepancy between the jaw and the skull. However, for many, Piltdown Man remained on its pedestal as an important stopping-off point between savage, earlier forms of human being and modern-day man. In 1923, the zoologist Franz Weidenreich came to the conclusion that this had been a human skull coupled with an orangutan's jawbone. Unfortunately, it would be 30 years before the wider scientific and archaeological community would accept that they had been duped. They had been shamed, as for more than 40 years, Piltdown Man had been part of a pantheon of evolutionary history. So successful was Piltdown Man as a forgery that he remains famous to this day. Piltdown has become a byword for the fragility of the pursuit of knowledge in science, in the face of ego and a desire to believe whatever it is we want to believe. Piltdown Man has taken his place in the fraudulent Hall of Fame alongside the Roswell incident and Area 51, and to this day in Piltdown there is a monument marking where this famous fraud was found. The identity of the perpetrator remains unknown, and various names have been suggested, Arthur Conan Doyle being the most prominent. However, for archaeologists and the broader scientific community, the perpetrator is not so important as our reaction to the prank in the first place. Piltdown Man is used across the world to this day as a case study in how our work is only ever as good as our ability to question our findings. In other words, we must remember that we are not perfect.